now that the draft is finally over, let's go through and kind of get a sense for where the rookie dynasty draft tiers shake out. Um, we're doing this for superflex, and I simply just have a pretty basic model that uses Zierlien's film grade, PFF's Big Board rank, and their draft capital to roughly estimate a score of kind of how valuable they should be. Now, I have historical scores, and so comparing players with their historical similar players, I can in the scores I can generally estimate what round of rookie draft ADP they should fall in or what they should be worth. This class is awful, um, and it sucks. Like I wanted to get very excited. I dove deep into the running backs. A lot of the running backs I really liked didn't get drafted. I did like Kalen Black, who went to the Niners because Kyle Shanahan apparently liked him as well. But who knows if that's going to turn into anything. Uh, Roman Hemby, Noah Whittington, Rasul Faison, like they didn't get drafted. Robert Henry didn't get drafted. Katron Allen went to a landing spot that I don't love because I think Bill Krosky-Merritt is a fun player and I think he is a good player. And so the fact that they're bringing in more competition and Katron Allen is a little concerning. I think Bill is still better than Katron Allen, but Katron Allen is a little bit more reliable on a down basis. So I could see him carving out some sort of a role. And so it's a messy backfield. I still like Bill. I think Bill has untapped receiving potential, and I think he, was just getting started from a ground game perspective. But yeah, it's a little rough. But enough yapping. Let's just get into the kind of ranking or tiering process. I'll go through player by player and I will put like a rough round estimate of where I think they should go in rookie drafts, in Superflex rookie drafts. So this film score is really just looking at players amongst their own position. So it doesn't really do a good job of comparing amongst positions. So keep that in mind. So this will be like the tier slash round I would take them in. So to me, Jeremiah Love is the 101, clear 101. Don't have to do much thinking about that. Mendoza is more of like a early to mid first. Carnell Tate is a early first. Guy Lemon's an early first. And I think Tyson is also in this mix for early first this year. Ty Simpson, I think, is a late first. I think he should be. If we're thinking back to the Penix draft, like, because he's in kind of a situation where he's not going to play right away, and he was drafted kind of high, it's similar to the Penix situation, but Penix you could get with an early second round pick in Superflex drafts. I think the fact that that class was so loaded, that's the only reason why. If it was less loaded like this one is, Penix probably would have went late first. It's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow there, but so I think Casey is more of he's like a mid first prospect. I think Jadarian Price, if we go to this draft class view and we look at running backs, he scores out similar to, not as high as Hampton, but he scores out similar to Travion Henderson and Judkins. So, I mean, I think that's kind of a fair range. And I think that's more of like a mid-first type of player. Kenyon Sadiq is the trickiest one. because I don't think he's Loveland or Warren. Definitely not. And those guys went like mid to late first last year, and some drafts even probably fell to the early second. Warren and Loveland. So I'm not really sure where to put Sadiq. I think I think he just has to be mid to late first. Um, I don't really, not a big fan. I think Omar Cooper is also in that tier, mid to late first. In that Burden, Lad McConkey, if you look back at it, that's kind of roughly the range Cooper falls in. Um, you see, you can see Burden is right here. So you've got Burden, and then he's sandwiched by Casey and Cooper. So, but I personally think Casey should go a little higher and is a tier above Cooper and Boston. But Boston, it's like, okay, well, he's also scoring the same as Jaden Higgins, who was not a late first last year. He was more like a mid early second last year in Superflex dynasty drafts. Stowers is a tricky one because I think he's fine, but he's in this range where Arroyo scored, and Arroyo was like a third round pick. Terrence Ferguson was a third round pick. So it's hard to put him very high. So I think he's probably worth more of a late second. He's got some upside. I'm trying to be as objective as I can, but it's kind of hard to do. You have to use some subjectivity. This exercise is generally to get an idea of where guys are going to go in rookie drafts, not so much like, looking strictly at the model and going off of that and treating it like gospel, like it's gospel. Max Clare scores out surprisingly the same as Stowers, but I think he's more of an early third type of prospect. Bernard, if we look at the other guys that score similarly to Bernard, you got Jack Besh and Trey Harris. I mean, those were both late second round picks last year. So, I mean, we could call him a mid to late second, but that's kind of rough. And then we have Carson Beck, which is a tricky player to value because he could wind up starting or playing some games this year, but it's a rough profile. I mean, even worse than Shuck, and I think Shuck went in the I want to say the late second, early third. So Beck to me is probably like a mid third type of profile because he's not. I think Will Howard and Shedeur Sanders were like a late third last year in Superflex. So I would say that a mid third for him is more appropriate given that he has a higher chance of starting right away than those two did. Sam Roush, or Roosh, however you say his name. I know he's more of a blocking tight end. He got like an awful landing spot. So I'd say he's probably a late third to early fourth. That's a rough spot. Brazel is similar to Bernard in terms of his potential outcomes here, but I would say he's probably more of a late two. Because would I put Bernard as a mid to late two? I think this is more of a late second profile. Drew Aller, probably closer to Will Howard last year, probably like an early fourth. Malachi Fields. I think he's a late 2, roughly. Yeah, he's right there with Brazil. Late 2nd. Dazon Stribling. He got drafted high, but I guess I gotta give him a late 2 too as well. Zachariah Branch. Also, we'll get that late 2nd designation. There's a lot of depth in the lower, like mid end of receiver. Like a bunch of late 2nd round superflex guys. Mike Washington. I mean, he basically got on a landing spot where he's a handcuff to Genty, so that's probably a early 3rd. I mean, he did get the 3rd highest draft capital, I believe, or maybe it was 4th. I'm trying to think of Kalen Black. I think Kalen Black went ahead of him. Now this is the tight end that the Jags took. I think he's probably more early 4th type of player. His score is going to be higher because he got drafted high. Antonio Williams, to me, is more of a mid-2nd round player, given the opportunity he has right away. There's just no receivers on that roster. And then I think Chris Bell is mid to late 2nd because he, again, has a lot of opportunity. Skylar Bell is probably about a mid 3rd type. If we go back to here, let's see who goes around him. Yeah, Jalen Royals, Tesla. I mean, I might even make it that a mid to late 3rd. Klubnik. I mean, it's a pretty gross spot for him too. I think Gino's fine. I think the Jets might actually be pretty solid. So, given all the supporting cast they have built up, I think I'll probably put, and again, these aren't really my rankings. These are just like roughly where I think the consensus is going to be. So it's a little tricky to figure out how the market's going to treat these guys. So where did I put Beck mid 3rd? So it's probably a late 3rd player. Oh, I'll say mid to late 3rd. Depends on how good you think Gino is. If you think Gino's terrible, then I guess you take him earlier. Marlon Klein. I mean, this guy was not supposed to go anywhere near that high. This is the product of just a terrible class. I guess this is a solid 4th round profile. I'm starting to deviate a little bit. Simply because as you get down the board, I think the scores mean less and less. There's more variance, more landing spot dictates what guys are worth. I want to throw Surratt in the mid to late 3rd or 2nd, but he just didn't score out that well. I mean, he scored out, right near Skylar Bell. So, but I do think the opportunity he has right away is kind of appealing. So maybe that early to mid third is a smarter range for him. Ted Hurst. Yeah, it's hard to put him. It's in a crowded room, so mid to late third. Jacoby Lane. Probably another mid to late third here. Now Raritan is kind of my guy. He's good, and I think he's got the opportunity right away. And so I'm tempted to put him up in that late second range. But we'll call him early to mid third with Surratt there. Now Jonah Coleman. I mean, we're finally getting to another running back. I know we went through a lot of the list, but he probably got one of the better landing spots of all the rookie running backs in Denver, because I think that backfield is a little bit more muddy and ambiguous than the other backfields that rookie running backs got drafted into. So I'm kind of inclined to push him up. I don't think he's a late first prospect. I think he's closer to like probably a late second or a mid. Yeah, let's just call it late second, because Tootin probably had a clearer path than Coleman does, and he was a late 2, so I feel like I'm even being generous putting him as a late 2 there. And at some point I'm just gonna stop doing these because the guys are no longer worth putting in the sheet. So Justin Joly scores like a Gunnar Helm type. Now Helm is like really, I mean, these guys didn't get drafted. Late 4th to early 5th. Oscar Delp. I think the view on him is a little bit more. It's not necessarily as tied to the draft capital. The situation is gonna drive his up, I think, where he could just be the tight end 1 on the team right away. So it's more. I think he'll probably be more early to mid third, and then Emmett Johnson. That Chiefs landing spot's kind of tough. He has to overcome Kenneth Walker being there. Oh, God. I would say an early third would make sense. And yeah, I'll start skipping guys. I don't care about Joe Royer or Virgil or Douglas, or I guess Bryce Lance can get in there. Probably late third. Oh, did my third to early 4th? Nick Singleton. I mean, it's really muddy. How does he get to? I don't see how he gets to opportunity there. I mean, he's maybe you could say he only needs to beat Tony Pollard. So maybe I'll call him a late second to early third. Brennan Thompson. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, that's an early fourth. Injuries. Maybe a mid fifth. Cole Payton. Early fifth. Well, let's think about this for a second. So he's like a backup and he's got rushing upside. Mid to late third maybe. And then I think I'll put him in the same. And then Cyrus Allen, probably early fourth. Oh, I have Cyrus Allen twice. Whoops. Kalen Black. Early to mid third. And then I think Katron Allen is more of a late second. Mid to late third for Adam Randall. I think it's like a Ray Davis, Jalen Wright type of bet. Damon Claiborne. Oh, this is like a mid second type. He's only got Aaron Jones really in his way. That was a great landing spot for him. But yeah, I guess I could do mid fourth on Burks. And that's about it. Eli Heidenreich might be a early to mid fourth. Is there anyone else I missed? No, that seems about it. The rest of the guys didn't get drafted or what have you. So that's it. I guess what I can do now, we'll rank them. And then we'll use the film score as a tiebreaker. So if anyone is within the same range, I mean, we can just delete everyone else. So this is roughly what it looks like. So this is kind of how the draft class shakes out. Roughly. So we've got about 11 first round picks, about 12 second round picks, and then $17 third, fourth round picks, and then or third round picks, and then we have about 9 fourth round, fifth round caliber players. So you know what? This class is not as bad as I was saying, I guess. It feels a lot worse than I think it actually is. Right? Because it feels like there's not elite talent. But no, these guys, Sadiq, I mean, maybe this later part, maybe in a normal class they go more early second. But mid to late first seems kind of reasonable. And then I think the big thing here is that, well, there's basically no early second round picks, right? That's the thing. We're missing the late first or early second. We're missing a lot of guys in that range. And so it feels like really bad when those guys are not in the pool, really. But, all in all, like we're still getting, 12 second round picks. I think that's the key insight that I didn't really realize before, but yeah, we're just kind of missing the early second round profiles. We've got a bunch of like mid to late second round profiles, which are cool, but we don't have a lot of those. And then I think you could maybe say these, like I said, these late first profiles are maybe closer to early second. So you could say maybe we're missing more late first profiles. You could argue. I think Price is a pretty clear mid first, mid. Like I mean, if he's comparable to like Travion and Quinchon Judkins, that makes about sense. So yeah, then we just get really really bad at the very end. I think there's just not really a lot of like fourth, fifth round depth pieces to throw targets at because we just didn't get that many draftees at the skill positions that we want. But we got some cool upside bets in the third here that are like third round caliber. So yeah, ultimately, it's a actually I thought it was a weak class, but it's not a weak class. We're just missing like a chunk, either in the late first or early second, however you want to view it. I'm viewing it more like early second missing, but that's it. So there's gonna be some good players out of this class. The draft capital wasn't quite there, so there's a lot of situational adjustments being made. But yeah,